Tonight's story is unsettling, not because it begins with danger, but because it begins with trust. A man made a promise. A friend believed him, and what followed would leave an entire family searching for answers. The details may seem ordinary at first. A land deal, some money, a simple agreement. But look closer, and you'll see how quickly everything turned dark. I'll take you through it piece by piece. And I'll let you decide when the moment of no return arrived. If you enjoy stories that are strange, dark, and mysterious, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an upload. Alright, let's begin. It was a hot summer in Houston, Texas. The air was heavy. The kind of air that sticks to your skin before the day even begins. That morning, Daniel Carter was up early. His wife remembered later that he seemed happy. He drank his coffee, scrolled through his phone, and looked out the kitchen window. Daniel was a real estate agent, not a big city developer, not the type who sold towers and malls. He was local. He helped families buy land. He helped small investors find property. His name was built on trust. People liked him because he was honest. One of the people Daniel knew was James Holloway. James was a little older. They had met years back at a community event. James was always moving from one business idea to another. Cars, small shops, land. He wasn't always steady, but he was friendly enough. That summer, James told Daniel he had a piece of land for sale. It was in the suburbs, not too far from the highway that led toward Beaumont. James said he wanted Daniel to help him find a buyer. Daniel asked a few questions. James assured him everything was fine. He promised the land was clean, the ownership was his, and the documents were ready. Daniel agreed. It didn't take long before Daniel found someone interested. A man who had been saving for years. He wanted to buy land and build rental homes. After some talks, the deal was set. The buyer handed over $120,000 in cash to James. The last step was simple. James just needed to bring the land documents, but when the buyer asked, James hesitated. He said the papers were in Dallas, locked in an office safe. He said he would drive up the next day to bring them back. The buyer didn't like the answer. Something felt wrong, but Daniel stepped in. He told the buyer not to worry. He said he had known James for years. He trusted him. He even promised that if James had trouble, he would bring the documents himself. The buyer agreed to wait. The next morning, James called. He said the trip was delayed. The day after, he said the person with the office key was out of town. Another time, he said he had a flat tire on the road. Every day there was a new excuse. Daniel kept calling. Sometimes late at night, sometimes early in the morning. Each time James promised it was almost done. The buyer grew restless. He started calling Daniel often. "Where are my papers?" he demanded. Daniel felt trapped. He wanted to keep his word. He wanted to trust James, but the documents never came. A week passed. Then Daniel got a call. It wasn't from James. It was from James's girlfriend, Emily Rogers. She spoke softly. She told Daniel that she and James were staying in a downtown hotel. She said they had the land documents with them. She invited Daniel to come over and pick them up. For Daniel, it was a relief. At last, it sounded like the end of the waiting. That evening, he told his wife he would meet James and Emily at the hotel. He said it wouldn't take long. He would be home soon. That was the last time she saw him. Night fell. Daniel didn't come home. His wife called his phone. No answer. She waited. Still nothing. The sun came up the next day. Daniel's car never pulled into the driveway. His phone stayed silent. By afternoon, his family knew something was wrong. They called the police. Detectives listened carefully. Daniel wasn't the kind of man to disappear. He was steady. He was reliable. His phone records showed his last call was with Emily Rogers. Detectives began asking questions at the hotel. They searched for James. Soon, they brought him in. James gave them a story. He said he had returned the money to Daniel. He claimed he no longer wanted to sell the land. According to him, Daniel had the cash and had left to give it back to the buyer. The detectives frowned. If Daniel had the money, why hadn't the buyer said so? And why hadn't Daniel returned home? James shrugged. He had no answers. The case dragged on. Then a farmer outside Beaumont called the police. He told them something strange had happened a few nights earlier. He said he saw a car pull into a patch of land near his farm. He thought it was odd. It was late. Too late for anyone to be out there. Then he heard 3 sharp cracks echo across the field. He grew uneasy. He couldn't see much. But when the car pulled away, he grabbed his phone and took a picture of the license plate. When detectives traced the plate, it led straight to James Holloway. Attention turned to Emily Rogers. Investigators followed her. They saw her packing her things, ready to move out of her apartment. She seemed nervous. They stopped her. They searched her belongings. Inside, they found... The find made the detectives more certain, but James was gone. For days, no one knew where he was. Some thought he had slipped out of Texas. Maybe he was heading south. Maybe to Mexico. Weeks later, federal agents spotted him at George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston. He had a one-way ticket. He was trying to leave the country. Agents moved in. They arrested him before he could board the plane. The story spread through Houston. People who once knew James as just another neighbor could not believe it. A land deal. A promise. A missing man. Daniel Carter, the man who only wanted to help, never returned home. His family waited for answers. His wife waited for the sound of his car pulling back into the driveway. His children waited for him to walk through the door, but Daniel never came back. All this, over $120,000.